Football is so much more than a single season. It's something you look forward to 365 days of the year. Just like Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies, too. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Big color, bigger savings. It's Sherwin-Williams' biggest super sale. Get 40% off paints and stains October 17th through the 27th with prices starting at $29.39. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
Looking for these better days.
It is Thursday, October 16th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Toronto Blue Jays' offensive explosion last night in Seattle gets them Game 3 of the American League Championship Series. Can the Brewers follow suit tonight in LA against the Dodgers? Plus, Thursday Night Football will kick off Week 7 of the NFL season tonight. We will cook up a same-game parlay. Mackenzie Rivers is with me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac will start in Major League Baseball. Last night, the Blue Jays bats woke up in a big way, 13-4 winners over the Seattle Mariners. We cashed our best bet on the Shane Bieber over 14.5 outs recorded. He goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs. Those 2 runs came in the first inning, a Julio Rodriguez 2-run home run, and then nothing else after that. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts on 4 hits. Good start for Bieber, and the Blue Jays got exactly what they needed, a little bit of length out of their starter and not having to use some high-leverage relievers as they can now set their sights on drawing even in the series tonight. With the Jays trailing 2-1, knowing the history, can I interest you in Toronto now plus 220 to win the series?
Road team wins the first 3 games. That has happened in history that I can remember. It doesn't end up being that way. I don't think. Maybe in baseball it does. I feel like the Mariners get Game 4. I feel like no, plus 220 is not enough.
Yeah, well, the odds for tonight's game, which will feature Max Scherzer on the mound for the Blue Jays and Luis Castillo going for the Mariners. Mariners minus 138 right now up on
Market
FanDuel.
agrees with me.
Yes, the market does agree with you, and I certainly wouldn't be backing Scherzer. I mean, there's nothing that I've seen from Scherzer this year that makes me think like,
don't you remember 2019, man?
Yeah, like he's going to turn it back. So, all right, so Scherzer this year has made, and it hasn't been a lot of starts because he's been injured, right? So he made 17 starts this year for the Toronto Blue Jays, okay? Out of those 17 starts, Mackenzie, there was only 3 of them where he allowed 1 earned run or fewer. In 14 of the 17 starts this season, he allowed 2 or more runs. And then in 12, I believe, because I'm looking at the majority of these starts, 4, 7, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3. I can't trust him. I can't trust him to shut down the Mariners lineup in Seattle. Big spot. I don't think he turns back the clock tonight. I would bet it. I would bet Seattle wins this game.
Bieber gave up the first 2 runs of the game, obviously, last night, but he still goes the distance. Do you think they have the same approach where he gives up a couple runs, maybe 4, but they still give him 6 innings just for strategic purposes?
No. And in fact,
not that scenario.
Yeah, and in fact, I would be looking at a Scherzer maybe outs recorded under once you see that populate here on your sports books, because we're up on FanDuel right now. It's not available. His strikeout prop is very low. It's at 3.5. So that gives you kind of it's if you can use your deduction process, right?
Yeah,
and you can deduce that he's not going to be going deep into the ball game, because if he had a normal strikeout prop of like 4.5 or 5.5, you would say, yeah, the book expects him to go 5 innings. But I don't think the book expects him to go 5 innings here, which is why you see a very low strikeout number. I'm just looking, I'm seeing 10.5 is what another book has for Scherzer outs recorded tonight. 10.5.
Not even through 4 innings.
Nope.
Do they give you the opportunity to do 9 innings, 20-1? I believe in Max Scherzer as a playoff performer. I saw it with my own eyes in Washington.
Not happening tonight. Not happening tonight. That'll be the late game.
Would you give me 20-1? 20 burritos for one?
I'd give you 20-1. Yeah, it's not happening tonight. That is
20 lunches. You're on.
Yeah, that's the late game, 8:34 Eastern time tonight. The first game will be at 6:09.
Give me over
Eastern
7.5 innings though. I got to have a chance to win it.
All right, I'll give you 10-1.
I can't do 9 for sure.
I'll give.
But I feel like it could be just like one of those shilling bloody sock. Like, man, can you believe Scherzer at 50 did this one thing?
It's not happening. It's not happening.
So how many innings you'll get? How many innings you'll give me for 20-1?
For 20-1, I'll give you 7 innings.
Oh, take it.
Yeah,
he's doing it. You heard it here first.
His line is 10.5. He's not getting
exactly.
4.
Things happen.
Yeah.
The Colts line was 7.5. They're going to win 9 games.
Sure. Let's talk about the first game of the day, and that'll be at 6:09 Eastern time. The Dodgers hosting the Brewers, Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. Tyler Glasnow is on the mound for the Dodgers, and the Brewers haven't announced a pitcher just yet. They'll likely go with an opener like they've been doing. So we'll see how the Brewers manage this situation. I got to imagine with the kind of for a team like the Brewers, Mackenzie, it's like you expect them to feed off the energy in their ballpark at home, to ride to this playoff, I'm not going to call it miraculous, but a very impressive playoff run. I just think going to Dodger Stadium with the mystique that is there and all that they're up against, down 2-0, I don't want to bet on them. I just don't.
They are 15-1 to win the World Series. It seems like of these teams, they are maybe the happiest, the Brew Crew, the happiest to be there. Dodgers are minus 140 now to win the World Series. Mariners plus 210. Blue Jays 7-1. Brewers already making plans for the summer.
During the regular season, the Dodgers were 52-29 at Dodger Stadium. That is the second best record at home, or third, best home record in all of Major League Baseball. So they've been very impressive at home. Same thing with the Brewers. The Brewers were 52-29 at home also, but they lost the first 2 games of this series at home. So it goes to show you what home means, if it means anything here in the Major League Baseball postseason. But I would back Glasnow. I would back the Dodgers bats. I would expect LA to pick up a win here. I don't know if it's going to be a sweep, but I mean, over under. If I told you, Mackenzie, over under 1.5 wins for the Milwaukee Brewers right now with 3 games here at Chavez Ravine, what are you betting?
2-3-2, classic NBA style.
It's got to be. It's got to be under 1.5. They're not winning.
1.5. I was considering a half. Honestly, I was thinking of 2 games and a half.
You think it could be a sweep?
Way under 1.5. It's like a quarter of a win per game.
Yeah, I would say they're more likely to get swept than to win 2 games for sure in this series. Some props if you're looking at for tonight. For the strikeout props for Tyler Glasnow is at 6.5. You can get plus money up on FanDuel right now on that over 6.5. His outs recorded prop is 15.5. So it is minus 130 to the over. So if you think he pitches into the 6th inning tonight, you'll have to lay minus 130. The under is at minus 102 if you think, hey, he just goes 5 innings, just gets those 15 outs, and then they hand it over to the bullpen. I don't necessarily hate it. I don't necessarily hate an under. And then, of course, if he goes 8 shutout innings, like, you're smoked. And keep in mind, what have the Dodgers starters done in the first 2 games of this series? But one went 8 innings and the other one went a complete game 9 innings. So
right, and that's 2 data points, and they're 2 great pitchers, maybe Hall of Fame quality pitchers.
Well, you can't say that about Yamamoto right now.
I've never seen anybody move that efficiently and quickly through a lineup in the playoffs.
Okay.
I mean, he's young, or he just started. But anyway, was that about the Brewers being overwhelmed by the moment or just not being that good? because it happened twice in a row, so you can't just say it was one guy? Or was it just two great pitching performances?
Could be just two great pitching performances, and we can get another one here with Tyler Glasnow tonight, and we can get another one coming up tomorrow with Shohei Ohtani. Like, it's like, think about like what they're up against. Yeah, think about what the Brewers are up against. Like, this is bad. And then, for all the concern about the Dodgers bullpen, well, they haven't had to be used so far in this series. So yeah, so maybe those two data points make us lean towards the over on the Glasnow 15.5 outs prop. Yeah, it does sound like it. Although, then I can counter with saying that the bullpen arms are fresh, and so Dave Roberts could be willing to go to them early. But again, if Glasnow shutting them down, it kind of feels like, it's not exactly, but remember when the White Sox won the World Series? You're a South Sider,
Oh, definitely.
4 consecutive complete games in the World Series. Nothing. We never seen it. It was incredible. So
we batted like 230 that year.
But
great.
Four consecutive complete games in the World Series was amazing for the White Sox there. And the Dodgers they only got 8 from Snell in the first game, but a complete game from Yamamoto. And now it is Tyler Glasnow's time tonight. Before we get into the NFL, let's just recap last night in the NHL. We cashed our best bet on the Mammoth -1.5. So Ice defeated Fire as the Mammoth not blanked, but they beat the Flames 3-1. And I would have been so mad if they didn't get the empty netter at the end. So we got lucky to get the empty netter at the end, right?
So you would have been mad if you didn't get lucky.
Yes, because the Mammoth outshot the Flames 32-20. Okay?
Right.
They had 6 power plays, Mackenzie. They didn't score a goal on the power play. They were 0 for 6 on the power play last night. It's like they so dominated that entire game, and yet still in the final 2 minutes, I was sweating out whether or not like Calgary would wind up tying the game. It was just I was so upset by watching that last night. If you looked at the advanced analytics of the game last night, it was the expected goals. Actually, wasn't that far off. It was 2 expected goals for the Mammoth. So
speaking of advanced analytics, I just did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct those numbers. I was only looking at the 5-on-5 situation. If we look at the entirety of the game, the Mammoth should have scored 5 goals last night. So that does. I should have looked as
the chance to kill a power play is about 80%. So 0.8 to the sixth. Only about 26% of the time it should happen. 3/4 of the time you have 6 power plays. You should score 1, but sometimes you don't. 26% of the time, actually.
A little less than 5, closer to 4. I'm saying 4.14 in all situations last night, the expected goals for the Utah Mammoth. And so, okay. They won and covered.
So it's a solid win. It was a little bit closer than we would have liked.
Yeah, exactly. And I played some shot on goal props last night. I got greedy going for some plus money chases. Dylan Gunther of the Mammoth, I played his alternate shot prop at over 3.5 at some nice plus money price, like plus 140. You could have just laid the -175 or -180 and bet the over 2.5. He cashed that. He had 3 shots on goal, but I got a little greedy there going for the 4 shots on goal. And then this is one that I was just shocked once I saw the box score. So I bet Tage Thompson, who is one of the top players for the Buffalo Sabres, one of the top shooters in all of hockey, and I bet him to go over 3.5 shots on goal. And I saw the score, and it was 8-4. The Sabres won the game. So now I'm thinking, come on. Not only did Tage Thompson,
everybody ate.
Not only did he go over 3.5 shots on goal, but he probably scored like 2 goals in this game last night.
He had a couple points.
And then I checked the box score: 0 shots on goal and a -2 on the ice.
He was Andres Iniesta out there.
Your best player. You had 0 shots on. He did have 2 assists, but your best player had 0 shots on goal. He was a -2 on the ice in a game that you scored 8 goals. Like, what? That was just baffling to me. So now you look at his shots on goal for his game logs: 5, 8, 4, 0. Guess which one I bet on?
Gets in where he fits in.
Guess which one I bet on? The 0 last night. It's great. It's great. I love hockey. Tonight, we have an interesting spot. I mean, do we go back to the well with the system here? Rangers getting shut out. They're at the Maple Leafs. Does the first period go over?
They've scored like twice out of 5 games. I'm not sure if I want to bet on them scoring.
I know. It's unbelievable, but, like, they're on the road now. So, like, the lid is on the net when they're at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, sometimes you go on a business trip, you look at your brethren, and you're like, not tonight.
Yeah, so maybe on the road they're going to get some goals. I don't know. They're still a just very bad team when it comes to the first period. Looking at Kevin Rogers' database here on the first period over-under record for the New York Rangers, they are 0-5 to the first period over, which also means that they're 5-0 to the first period under. So great trend if you're betting the unders here. Toronto, meanwhile, 3-1 to the first period over. So, I mean, they are absolutely, doing well here in the first period, especially at home, 2-1 on home ice for Toronto. So, kind of interesting there. I don't know if I'll play it. I mean, I guess if I don't play it, it's gonna hit. So I kind of feel like I have to. It kind of feels like I've played it twice in a row and I've lost twice in a row.
They're not going to go 0 for 82 in the first period.
Yeah, that I have to do it again now for the third straight game and figure like this is the martingale, even though I'm not like seriously martingaling and doubling my bets. I'm just saying like it just feels like it's going to happen here in this one. But we'll see. Rangers at the Maple Leafs tonight. Toronto is a sizable favorite, -150 or so. Other games of note for tonight. The Panthers visit the Devils, and Florida's, they're good. They're still good. I think they're beatable this year, especially with the injuries, right? They won their first 3 games of the year. They have dropped. All 3 of those games, by the way, were at home. And then they go on the road, and they've lost both games on this road trip. They lost in Philadelphia against the Flyers. They lost in Detroit against the Red Wings. And now they have to play and that was last night. So now they're on the second of a back-to-back going from Detroit now to New Jersey. And it's a spot where, like, I like fading teams in this situation, and the market agrees with me completely because the Devils, up on FanDuel right now, are a -156 favorite here over the Panthers, who are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And, so it's a spot I like to fade, especially against a young, fast-skating team like the Devils. So I'm going to go probably with New Jersey here in this good situational spot.
Phil Jackson once said, "Is it the playoffs yet? Panthers can lose this game. Doesn't matter. They're going to be in the tournament."
That's a fair point. Our Golden Knights return home tonight to take on the Boston Bruins. The VGK are sizable favorites. They are -220, about 222. Actually, no, this has been jacked up now. I'm looking at an old line. I'm seeing -245 now up on FanDuel. My goodness. So the Knights are heavy favorites here over the Bruins. This is the second home game for the Knights. The first home game they lost in overtime or a shootout to the LA Kings. And they finally, when they went to Calgary, picked up a win in regulation. 4-2, because the first 3 games all went to overtime. The Kings game was the loss in the shootout. The Sharks win was one of the more crazy, miraculous wins you'll ever see. And then they lose to the Kraken in overtime, beat the Flames in regulation, now return home to take on the Bruins. It's hard to bet against the Knights. I might just go back to the well with my favorite prop, and that is Jack Eichel shots on goal, because the kid is having a tear, and he's having a season right now. He is having a season. Look at these shots on goals.
High over under there. 6.5 plus money.
Yeah. 5.337 shots on goal here for Jack Eichel so far this season. And Kings are at home. They take on the Penguins, and LA is also north of a -$2 favorite. So we'll take a look at some things on the ice here tonight. We'll put some plays up on betterday.com, so make sure you check the picks page and check it throughout the day, because we'll update things as we get closer and closer to puck drop of those games as well. All right, Mac, we have Thursday Night Football, which will kick off Week 7 of the NFL slate. How about we build us a same-game parlay? Thursday Night Football between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, or as Aaron Rodgers calls it, the icy hot bowl between two aging quarterbacks in Rodgers and Joe Flacco. Right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers as a 5.5-point road favorite with a total of 44.5. And it is worth mentioning that this game was the number one biggest mismatch in the Week 7 trench report because of how bad the offensive line has played here for the offensive and defensive lines have played for the Cincinnati Bengals. Mac, the last time I placed a prop bet on the Bengals was last week against the Green Bay Packers, and I felt that in Joe Flacco's first start, he would target the running backs out of the backfield in the passing game. And this was my handicap. The trench report identifies how bad the Bengals' offensive line is. The Packers had an elite pass rush, same thing as the Pittsburgh Steelers, an elite pass rush. And I felt that Joe Flacco would be facing a lot of pressure. Not only would he be facing a lot of pressure, but being the veteran that he is, he would get rid of the ball quickly to avoid that pressure, and the beneficiary of it would be the running backs. And if you look at his time with the Cleveland Browns, he was averaging 8.5 to 9 targets per game to the running backs. Well, what happened? In the first half of that game last week, 0 targets to the running backs. And then in the second half, Chase Brown wound up having 2 catches. Samaje Perine, the other back, wound up having 2 catches, and they both go under their receptions prop. Well, specifically, Chase Brown went under his reception prop. That's the one that I played. Can I go back to the well? Can I bet Chase Brown again to go over receptions? I mean, I thought it was a sound handicap, but seeing the way that they
seems
played,
sound. I was gonna say that was the word out of my mouth. Sound,
yeah.
logic, and he had 45 pass attempts. He just needed 3 of them to land in your guys' hands.
Yeah, and his line is 2.5 here for tonight. It is minus 172 up on FanDuel for Chase Brown to have 3 receptions. I mean, I would think, don't you want to get the running backs involved in the passing game? Don't you want Joe Flacco to get the ball out of his hands quickly? Some screen passes to kind of deal with the pressure of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, it comes down to game plan. I think against the Packers, he had 15 passing yards in the first half and 200 in the second
I'm sorry
half.
to laugh. That's just, come on.
And I think it's because they're like, well, we know if we get into a passing game, if we get into a run and shoot with the 2007 Phoenix Suns, we're going to lose that game. So in the second half, you kind of have to throw the plan out the window. I think that's what's going to happen here. They're at home, so maybe it happens a little bit later. But I think eventually they're going to have to just go to Joe Flacco every time like they did against the Packers.
Yeah, so it's tough because I want to bet it again. I do. I think that it's a good prop. And also if we look at the game logs for Chase Brown, like let's look at what he has done as a receiver out of the backfield. Now, granted, starts the season with Joe Flacco, and then it's obviously Jake Browning. But he had 2 receptions.
Joe Burrow.
Starts with Joe Burrow, and then it's Jake Browning, right? So in the first game, 2 receptions on 3 targets against Cleveland, whatever. 2 catches on 3 targets again against Jacksonville.
Now, Joe Flacco was there at that game. Does that affect?
Oh, in the Cleveland game? Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He was there.
Then you get the Jake Browning games, right? 4 catches on 5 targets, 3 catches on 3 targets, and then against the Lions, 7 catches on 8 targets. And last week against Green Bay with Joe Flacco, 2 catches on 2 targets. Do you think maybe it's just was it just a Jake Browning thing?
Well, this was the grade A massive mismatch of the trench report. And I think a lot of statistics, despite the 2 wins that the Bengals have, point to this being like the 31st or 30th best team in the league. Their offensive line being porous is a big part of that. I think it doesn't really matter who's back there. Joe Burrow could kind of make it work and at least score 27 points, making something out of nothing. I feel like the fact that running backs are the people they go to is going to be consistent across quarterbacks. And they'll probably have 3 or 4 more starters throughout the season.
Okay, so let's do this. We're going to build our same game parlay right now, courtesy of the FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's go leg number 1 because that's how we do it, right? We'll go Chase Brown to have 3 receptions. Okay? We're okay? We're going to lock that in as leg number 1?
Yes.
Okay. So up on FanDuel right now, you just have to do the alt receptions and just choose Chase Brown 3+. Okay, that is leg number 1. Leg number 2.
What is that by itself? Do you
minus
have it right there?
minus 172.
All right.
Leg number 2, and this is going to be pretty crazy to say that you can include this in the same game parlay tab, but you can. But this is identified as the biggest mismatch in the Trench Report. I'm going to go with TJ Watt to record a sack. Now, this is dicey, though. I have to explain. Because on some books, you can bet over or under like a quarter of a sack. Which means if they get credit for a half sack, then you win your bet. The language of this bet says player to record a sack, which means that TJ Watt will have to get credit for a full sack, not a half a sack.
What about 2 half sacks?
Then he would get credit for a full sack. Like in the box score, it would say that he would have 1 sack.
It would, but he wouldn't have any actual qualifying sack. But okay, whatever.
But it would say that, right? So like against Cleveland last week, he had a half a sack. Against Minnesota, he had 1 sack. Against New England, he had 2 sacks.
But did he have 1 play that was a sack, or did he have 4 quarter sacks? We don't know.
Well, there's
no
such thing as a quarter sack, but you can get the half sack.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like, did he record a sack? Well, he recorded a half sack, so yes. I mean, that's going to go straight to the Supreme Court. That is not clear enough language, in my opinion.
So, do you want to include it in here or no?
Well, I mean, what's the dynamic odds?
Yeah,
it's unlikely for any player to have a sack. I mean, maybe he has 1 sack.
It goes to plus 139.
75% of games?
It goes to plus 139. It's not really a lot.
It's not enough at all. It's not enough at all, especially with the ambiguous sack language.
Okay. Let's take it out of there. I was going to say we could get cute and just go with a different player. Like we could bet like Alex Highsmith.
Who's that other Steeler that's
Alex
actually
Highsmith?
leading the team in sacks?
Alex Highsmith?
Maybe that's the guy they were talking about. Yeah, there's someone was saying, like, I talked to a GM and they asked him, who's the best pass rusher on the Steelers? And it was whatever the other guy's name is.
And they were like, it's Alex Highsmith. He's the best player on this team.
No, it was Nick Herbig.
Oh, Nick Herbig.
4.5 sacks.
Yeah, he's got 4.5 sacks. Yep. TJ Watt's got 3.5. Highsmith has 1.5 so far. All right, so let's
get out of here with Highsmith.
Yeah. All right, well, let's stay away from the sack props then. I was getting too cute. Let's stay away from the sack props.
Very cute.
Okay. What about Flacco? Anything with Flacco? I kind of want to do some sort of like fade with Flacco though. So
can we do to throw a pick? Throw a pick 6? Because he's going to have a lot of pass attempts if his last few games say anything.
Yeah, I don't think you can parlay the sack prop here as I'm looking at it. So here's what I'll do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we bet on? We like the Steelers in this game, right? You want to just lay the 5.5?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a clear mismatch.
All right. So we have 2 props here right now. We have the Steelers minus 5.5, and we have the plus, and then we have the Chase Brown 3 receptions. That's plus 178. For the third leg of this thing, I'm gonna go with let's go with Aaron Rodgers, and let's bet his. What do you think? Do you think we go under Rodgers because if they're going to be winning? Do you think it? Oh my goodness, Aaron Rodgers' passing yardage prop is 216.5. That is so low. But it's low because they think that it's just going to be a blowout, right? That it's just going to be a big win here for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's look at his last few games: 235, 200, 139, 203, 244. I don't think it's especially low. I think that's about where he's been at, and I think it should be a little bit lower because I think the Steelers roll. I think they get a pick 6. I think it's kind of ball control and get out of there alive. So I would like Rodgers under maybe.
Would you like to do Rodgers under 216.5 or Rodgers under 1.5 passing touchdowns?
Definitely yards under. I feel like he gets 2 passing touchdowns on prime time. as they're winning 21-3.
All right, so now we are at plus 408 on the 3-leg same game parlay, and then do we want to go Flacco over yards? Kind of feels like that's all correlated, right? It's all correlated to a Steeler.
If he's averaging 200 yards per half his last one half. I feel like because they're home, I feel like they get into that game script a little bit later than I don't know. I don't love his passing yards over.
Okay, so 3 legs right now. We have the Steelers minus 5.5. We have Chase Brown 3 receptions and Aaron Rodgers under 216.5 passing yards. Let's see. We can go with some rushing props for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Jaylen Warren at 48.5 yards. You got Kenneth Gainwell at 23.5 yards. Aaron Rodgers 1.5 yards. I know.
It's tempting.
But what if he takes a knee?
That's the thing. He could have the 1 5-yard run and still go under.
He could have one.
Because then he could have total like 4 for 1 yard, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of want to do that. What was it? I think Fez bet like Stafford under like a 1 yard like a couple of weeks ago, and it cashed.
Easy. No way he was going to run against that 49ers front. He was not ready for that last
time. And but it makes sense though. Like it could be just a it feels like Rodgers going under is a play here. Against the Jets, he had 1 carry for -1 yards. That was a kneel down. He had 1 carry for 3 yards against Seattle. He had 4 carries for 1 yard against New England, 3 for 8 against Minnesota, and
they're
1
4 and 1. The Ravens are. He's not going to do the John Elway helicopter down the sideline.
No,
it's not happening.
Not on a Thursday night game.
Not this game.
Not on a Thursday night game when it's like
maybe next game.
Yeah, it makes it plus 735 from plus 408 to plus 735. Is that enough of a kick for you or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? That's a lot.
All right.
Take that.
So 4-leg same game parlay. Chase Brown 3 receptions. Steelers minus 5.5. Aaron Rodgers under 216.5 passing yards. Aaron Rodgers under 1.5 rushing yards.
What is it for him to go all of that? That's one. That's definitely the play.
Plus 735.
What if we added plus over 1.5 touchdowns for Rodgers? Because I do think he might get 2.
I kind of like where your head's at because it is completely negatively correlated with the
right. It's not going to be a flashy game, but he's going to have some moments.
And you know what? It does. It doubles it. Plus 1441.
Yeah, that's good. I thought it might be plus 16 something because I thought it might more than double it. But that's solid. I would recommend that for a sprinkle.
Oh my goodness! I have the next leg to put the absolute sprinkle of sprinkles on. Instead of Rodgers over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Oh, okay.
Flacco over 1.5 touchdown passes.
They lose 28-14.
Yes.
Flacco has 2 touchdowns in the second half.
They lose 20-14. And guess what? We cover because the Steelers cover 5.5. It's a 6-point win. Flacco throws 2 touchdowns. Maybe Chase Brown catches one of them for the 3 receptions, right? And Aaron Rodgers takes a knee down at the end of the game and goes under his passing yardage prop.
That should get us. That's pretty anti-correlate. That should get us to 20-1 from the 7-1 base.
Plus 35-46.
Exactly.
35 to 1.
Just what I said.
Yes, we're cooking it. We're doing it. 35 to 1 odds here. We are putting it in the 5-leg super same game parlay, if you will. Steelers minus 5.5. Chase Brown 3 receptions. Aaron Rodgers under 216.5 passing yards. Rodgers under 1.5 rushing yards, and Joe Flacco over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And choose your variation of the sort to get the payout that you like. The basic 3-leg one, the basic 4-leg one without the Flacco touchdown passes was plus 735, and taking away the Rodgers rushing yards, it's plus 408 for the basic 3-leg.
This would have hit last game if Chase Brown had 1 more catch. All of these things are very possible. Flacco 2 touchdowns last game. Rodgers 200 yards passing 2 games ago. It's very, very possible.
Isn't that crazy that it would have hit last game? If we take the Chase Brown out of it and just do Steelers minus 5.5, Rodgers under 216.5,
no, Rodgers had 1.5 last game. Rodgers would have busted it last
But
night.
if we take that 5-leg 35-1 parlay and just take the Chase Brown out of it, it's plus 2238. I'm okay with that. If we want to just take Chase Brown completely out of it and just do Steelers minus 5.5 plus the 2 quarterback props.
I feel like that's highly variable. The other ones I feel like come in.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's cook it. Let's send it. We are sending it in here for Thursday night football between the Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Some other NFL notes before we wrap things up here on this episode. Tua apologized for his comments. I still think, the players, that is just not going over well.
Shut up. Like what positive is like, I've realized that being at the press conference and telling you the exact mechanics of my locker room presence isn't appropriate. So I just did the same thing. Damn it. Man.
So dumb. Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch, his suspension has been upheld. So he will not be playing coming up this week on Monday Night Football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Brock Purdy was back in practice. And Mackenzie, as somebody who owns Brock Purdy in fantasy, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with Kyle Shanahan because I think Coach is being very, very, we call him Cousin Kyle. I think he is being very cute with his words, okay? This is what he said during his press conference. Quote, Brock is more limited than Mac. Injuries frustrate people, but Brock is handling it right like he does everything. I know he's itching to get back. Okay, that was his quote.
Yeah,
video leaks online of practice today. Brock Purdy looks fucking great.
Leaked online in San Francisco. Who's leaking the San Francisco practice tape?
Mac. Brock Purdy looks fucking great. His footwork looked better in the film that I watched yesterday of him practicing than he looked in that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was shuffling his feet. He was moving his feet. Limited. If that's limited, I'm happy. I'm happy if I'm a 49er fan. And Kittle's back at practice. Oh boy. Maybe some positive signs for this team right now.
The market does not agree. They're down to 1.5 point favorites at home. In some spots, 2 point favorites at home. I don't know. From my tea leaves, I did not see the practice video. I appreciate your excitement. It got me excited as a 49ers fan because I hope to see him back out there. But when Richard Sherman said, as if he knew it's going to be 3-4 weeks, I feel like they're just signaling that to those in the know, which is not me. But I do think Purdy is going to take his sweet time back, especially now that this is a lost season.
Well, I went ahead and I did the savvy fantasy football owner move, and I picked up Michael Penix. So I am going to start a quarterback in that game. If I find out that it's Purdy, guess what?
The 49ers defense gives up a touchdown every drive without Warner. Yeah. Every single drive they give up a touchdown.
Listen, it's a Sunday night game, so I have time. I'm going to see what happens during the day, and then you know what? I got both quarterbacks in the night game. If it's Purdy, I'm going with Purdy. If Purdy sits, I'll go with Penix. So I'm in a good situation. Speaking of fantasy football, we'll have some fantasy football content up for you on betterday.com coming either later on today or on Friday. That'll be under the research and analysis tab like it is every single week. You'll find the Better Day Fantasy article every single week up there with a different fantasy expert each and every week to help us break down the slate of games for your Sunday and Monday action of NFL week number 7. You can always follow Mackenzie Rivers on Twitter at Mackin Rivers. You can follow me at Scott's on Air. Ooh, before we get out of here, Mac, Malcolm Brogdon retiring, so he's not playing for the New York Knicks. Like, is that just like not good enough to play for the Knicks? You just want to call it a career?
He's had an injury-riddled career. It's funny because he came into the league getting Rookie of the Year over Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid couldn't stay on the court. And now Joel Embiid still can't stay on the court, but Malcolm Brogdon really, really can't stay on the court, and he rather enjoys millions. Good for him.
Yep. So I love how the Knicks send out a congrats on your retirement thing, like a whole big thing they did on social media, like congrats, bro. Like he didn't play a single game for the Knicks.
Did he go inside New York State during his Knicks tenure.
I mean, has he even stepped foot in the Garden like wearing a Knicks jersey, or he's only in like Westchester in the practice facility? Like that's it. Like he's just what? Like this is so weird. Like, and I love how it's like New York Knicks guard Malcolm Brogdon announces his retirement. Like no, like
does he get his? I mean, he's retired a Knick, right?
Yeah,
he's going in with the hat. Does he get his number retired too? Probably not.
Well, the question is,
he's
Mac,
only the 1 year.
The question really is, when the Knicks win the title this year, does he get a ring?
I think he does. Yeah, he was there at training camp. He was there.
All right, for Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.